but Cat's playing Dinner with André, I think.
Yeah. All that disclaimer stuff, other things, some stuff, other things.
Yeah.
My dinner with André.
There. Oh.
It's a different color now.
Oh.
It's more colors.
Oh.
One of two.
Okay.
Probably enter.
Yes. The Simpsons universe.
The life in an indie developer is tough. It's not easy. You work hard making games and nobody buys them. You take up other lines of work to try and make a living. I became a voice actor. And people don't hire you. So you just spend your days doing the errands of your trade. You walk in the middle of the night. I had been trapped by an odd series of circumstances into agreeing to have dinner with a man I'd been avoiding for years. His name was André Gregory. At one time he had been a very close friend of mine, as well as my most valued colleague in game dev. In fact, he was the man who had first discovered me and put in a good word to some publisher friends of his. I haven't seen him in 25 years. No.
Ugh.
That act of generosity later led to my first ever release. You gonna tell us what it is? When I had known André, he had been at the height of his career working for one of the largest developers in America.
Oh.
Nintendo. Sega.
They're
Atari.
not a problem there. Yes. Atari.
I think, yeah, Atari's.
Yes, American based.
But then something happened to André. He made E.T. He'd dropped out of the games industry. He'd sort of disappeared. All of his family seemed only to know that he had been traveling in some place, like Tibet, or you would hear at parties that he'd talked to trees or something like that. He was called a tree hugger.
Oh.
Obviously, something terrible had happened to André. Like, he'd wandered lost into a decrepit alleyway hanging around tin bins. I'm calling him a drunk.
Yes.
A very bad drunk. Or hobo. One of those two. With lit fires in them, hobo, in the company of burnt out inventors.
Huh.
And the homeless. Probably eating old shoes just to survive. Can you hear me in there? I'm talking crap about you.
Yeah, at the window.
The whole idea of meeting him made me nervous. What if he pulled out a knife? What if he asked for money? I had problems of my own. I mean, I couldn't help André. Was I supposed to be a doctor or what?
Or Dr. Dev.
Wally, it's been years.
I'm not a doctor!
Hope the gilded truffle isn't so modest for you.
I'm not rich.
Well, you look terrific.
I'm balding. Well, I feel terrible. So we talked for a while about my various indie game dev projects. About the success and those that were well less of a success. Just names off a bunch of really successful indie games that has no part in. Like, I was the one who made Undertale. You're Toby Fox? No.
I made Trowel Knight. Hollow Hole.
Mountain Climber 3D.
Not Celeste.
Celeste with an S.
Yeah, I spelled it right.
We talked about my contributions to various games as a voice actor. I was Pac-Man in the original arcade. And about my girlfriend Debbie, about his wife Chiquita, and his two children, Nicholas and Marina.
I was trying to think of a Pac-Man parody, but it's just packed in, man.
Finally, I got around to asking him what he'd been up to in the last few years.
Well, I have had been working on the latest installment of World of KrustyCraft. A few years ago,
It went under immediately.
the office culture had been going downhill at Wizard Entertainment for some time, and now it had begun leaving a sour taste in my mouth,
I ate a lot of sour candies while I worked there.
to say the least.
Tell me more. Chen insight? Bon mot?
Oh, I want to hear more right now.
Tell me more. The whole place had turned into a fraternity where sexual harassment towards the female staff was commonplace. I think Rock Bottom did a piece on it, actually. It was just happening, Wally. It was actively promoted there.
They had posters, they had a video you had to watch in the beginning. There was a guy that was hired to see if you were actually performing your duties.
Yes. Trying to grasp at air or straws in the air.
There was a lot of lawyers.
Some of the women were getting harassed on a daily basis. There was unequal pay, declined promotions on the basis that they may get pregnant. Even retaliation for anyone that dared to do something about it and make a positive change.
For some reason in the back I'm just thinking it's Fat Tony and his two guys.
I think it is. It's just very pixelated Fat Tony and the other
and
two.
then whatever that is over there.
I can't tell what's on the right
looks like,
behind the first.
it looks like the nose is up there, has a little mouth, an eye, and the beard.
This is Barney.
Tell me more. Okay. I guess
So we
tell
go
me
to the
more.
next one, or just continue on with telling more?
Does that change anything?
I don't know.
So it worked. Oh, alright. One of the women committed suicide while on a company trip with a male superior, Wally.
Supervisor?
Supervisor. Yeah.
There were nude photos of her circulating during a company holiday, and she just broke. Reports started surfacing, and that many of the higher-ups knew about the accusations and did nothing about them. We staged a walkout and protest with a clear demand. Fire the CEO of Wizard Blobby Cockkick. All the wizard could muster was to try and settle the matter with an $18 million payout.
I guess I'll
just keep doing that. I don't know what the other people do.
Tell me more. The suicide was the end of it for me. The match in the powder barrel. The poor woman. Had to get out of there, so I resigned from Wizard and have stayed away from game dev ever since.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Well, I left the country and went to India and spent some time moving my neck around like a well-cooked piece of asparagus.
What?
Then headed to Australia for some R&R. Saw a few bootings. Hey, you know the water in the toilets? There's spins the other way. I read about the Coriolis effect in reading digest, yes.
Yes.
So, I flushed 2 different toilets on 2 different places, on 2 different spots, on 2 different pieces of planet.
Yes, he was scientifically testing that on his own
Well, it
budget.
did actually have to do, like, possibly 2 scientists to do that.
Yeah, I know. How's your toilet flushing? The other way!
Now get paid thousands of dollars to confirm that.
Of course. Have it known as fact. Alright.
Of course. Eventually it got to a point where I needed to express myself once more, and so I decided to come back home.
More!
Well, Now I've been asking myself, what form of my desire to create will take?
You guys ever gonna order something other than your wine?
True.
I'd love to return to making games. It's something I'm just intrinsically drawn to.
Kinda looks like Mario.
Where Mario?
The picture.
On the painting?
Yeah.
Scrunched up Mario.
But I can't bring myself to go back to the AAA games development.
So I'm going AA.
Besides corporate toxicity, the fact is the making a AAA game.
Whatever that stands for.
The AAA. I don't know what it means, but I've been working there for years until that happened.
Has become so expensive, it's rarely feasible to take creative risks. From a business standpoint, anyway.
More!
The AAA industry can no longer afford to take risks and push the medium in leaps and bounds like it used to.
Just like this.
Perhaps every so often lightning in a bottle strikes.
But
And then they make 500 different versions of it and remakes and remasters and collections of the same thing.
Yes, but I thought it said the India scene.
But in the indie scene, that isn't shackled by the shareholder interests.
Yeah, you just have to make money for it.
Yeah, on your own time.
And it's free. It's free to truly push the medium. It's a matter of scale. In the 80s and 90s, and even in the 2000s, it was cheaper to make.
So we are in the 2010s,
Yeah, we're in the time.
and then we're in the 2020s, and then we're in 2030s. And then
Yeah, time passed.
so
passed.
far
They were
this is
still
set
there.
in modern time,
Yes.
or earlier than that.
Somewhere in the point when Game Boy was fine. The very end of Game
Well, now there's like a new Game Boy. So
Yeah, we're on the analog.
Commercial games. And it took way less time to complete them. You can make a half-baked platformer or shamelessly clone the latest commercial kit, and slap on some Krusty Burger sponsored art,
they don't do that enough in the show.
Yeah.
assets, and get the restaurant chain to pay for much of the dev costs, in return for reducing the game down to a virtual advertisement. Or just getting a rushed game to suit the latest Rainier Wolf Castle action flick, force the game out on a crunched schedule to coincide. That's it. I just haven't seen that in a while. Alright. With the film's release, then you'd still see a profit in the end.
Well, there hasn't been that many licensed games.
Yeah, or they just come out and no one really cares now.
Well, they basically just become mobile games now.
Yeah, it's the most easiest thing to throw out there.
Alright. Have you ever played that game where a kid versus the space mutants? It's a bad as Kevin Costner's Waterworld.
Well, that one's amazing.
Nowadays, though, it's a considerable risk to create a restaurant, film, or TV tie-in and remain competitive in the market. It still happens here and there, but you don't see them as often.
I guess more.
My slipper is slipping off. Hey, no touchy on the Z.
More. Games have become more and more generic, and when they appeal to the lowest common denominator, and there's more or less the end result when the widest possible net needs to be cast in the order to make significant profit at those large scales of development. Yes. And by the way, many of the devs are still forced to crush in the order to make deadlines despite huge dev times, thanks to lousy management. there will always be expectations, of course.
Were you in India and other places without game devs?
Yeah, but that was after and just traveling for like a long time and playing video games.
But on the whole, this is the current situation. I was thinking about the indie games you've made in the past, Wally. Relatively small development times, possible to complete, with a small team or even just one person. And most importantly, you get to decide what you make without having to consider what the market wants from you, or what a committee of higher-ups deem to be the most lucrative course of action for the matter.
Or you can go to Kickstarter.
Yeah, make people pay.
Or go to the other one. I forgot what it's called.
Indiegogo.
No,
that's the
other
other one. Ooh.
I don't
Other
remember.
ones. Tell me more.
Sure, I know what you're thinking. You make retro games.
Andre, I've got to say, you're talking way too long. And we still haven't ordered food. I'm starving. I'm making retro games, yes, literally retro. Not retro style, but Game Boy games that run on Game Boys.
Oh,
It's an avenue of games development that is pretty up there in terms of niche markets. Sometimes I feel like my games have no relevance.
but here it is, the thing, Wally.
We're in a video game.
It will be relevant to someone out there. If you're doing your best to express yourself truthfully. Wally, I don't want to make products anymore. I don't want to make games that are designed by committee. I want to make games that are an expression of me.
Gonna put his face on the box.
I want a larger forehead, bigger hands, bigger feet to stretch out across the world. Something like that. It's not a fetish or anything, it's just a game.
Like what you have been doing.
But Andre, there's rarely any money in it. I had to take up voice acting to make ends meet. And you go through cycles of depression and anxiety and back to elation when you finish something. The cycle just repeats. It doesn't matter what artistic medium you choose as well. In fact, I was just thinking of throwing in the towel. Get a 40-hour-a-week job, get some financial security, some retirement, some health, move on.
No, Wally. Keep at it.
I love that game. The game of life.
No, I thought you were talking about the
one I was just saying. Or something else.
the one where you climb the mountain, but calling it a different name.
Ah.
I just saw it too.
Patrick Barnoff's
Keep
climbing.
going on.
Keep on going on. Yes, he climbs a mountain with a stick. And while he's in a bucket. There's more of a knockoff of it.
No, there's already like 500 of those.
Yeah. Alright.
It's in that space where true artistic vitality lives. Screw the money, I mean, of course you have to do what you can do to pay
For this wine.
the bills. The bills. But outside the needs of survival and whatever you can muster, to live somewhat comfortably, untethered, self-expression and self-exploration is the reward in itself.
Go on.
Not the money, not the social media likes or the followers, or the sales numbers, or whatever you need to read about your work on. Better than TV.com.
Go to it now.
Yes, there is the inevitable roller coaster with its ups and downs. But would you really have it any other way?
Make one really, really successful game that pays for everything else.
Check out Rose Blight. That's quite the title.
And you're right. It doesn't matter if you're a painter or a writer.
Or even if it's a fan game like Lupin.
Or if you live outside with that bucket and the hobo. I heard you outside.
You were trying to climb the building just now.
A coder, a filmmaker, or a games designer.
A game system.
Become a game system. Let me put my slot into you. My slot into your...
Well, it's put into your slot, but still.
Let me put it into your slot. See, I'm trying to get it. Just reach a little closer.
Let me rub your head.
Where's his nose?
It's his face. His whole face is a nose.
Alright.
Even if you're just putting a BBQ pit together.
Barbecue.
We artists can only just continue creating and honing our craft. And hope that our work connects without someone and wrenches there lies in some way.
So, what are you proposing here, Andre?
You ever play KrustyCraft?
I'm surprised that's not a thing in there.
Yeah.
They could have very easily made a lot of parodies.
Yes, very
Just
easily.
with Krusty and putting them into various things.
But the parodied things
Like
don't
Krusty
happen.
Night.
Krusty Night. I like that. Krusty Souls.
Dark Krusties. Krusty Born.
Krusty Born. Alright.
Well, it'd be Blood Krusty. It's the other way.
Yes, I know.
Ghost of Krusty.
No! But it has to be in Japanese, but I don't know the Japanese for
What,
Krusty.
Last of Krusties?
Look up the word Krusty in Japanese.
Last of Krusties Part 1 and 2.
Let me read while you do that.
Let's go to the partnership, Wally. Let's make a game together. Speak from our hearts. Take a risk or two and see where the wind takes us. What do you say?
Hang on, I'm looking up. You're looking up the Japanese word for Krusty. I think I'll just...
What is that Afghans?
I'll do it faster.
That's the Afghans.
Alright. I need
No, back away!
Krusty.
Japanese.
I got Krusty Krab.
Krusty. Raisona. Raisona.
Let me see. Come on, get out of the way.
Raisona. 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 Krusty. Raisona.
Krusty Souls.
Raisona Tamashi.
Yeah.
Raisona Tamashi.
Alright.
No.
Enough of that. That's the Japanese one.
Krusty Souls.
Alright, Andre, why not? Let's do it. Fantastic.
Hey, Andre.
Yes, Wally.
Who's gonna pay for the bill? We've been waiting a long time for this waiter.
Oh, yeah.
Want to get a burger?
Certainly. The gilded truffle sucks anyway. Don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah.
My dinner with Andre.
Yeah.
Music.
That's all it did.
Sound effects.
Ah. So much space.
A game by.
And
Thanks for playing.
I know
The
that.
greatest one. Yay.
Now to do it again.
It's just seeing what the other two do.
Yeah.
Well, it's having to skip a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna go like the guy who said I would speed run it. See, this is exactly what the guy did.
I don't like to read.
I don't like to read books. They just come on.
I just like to listen to them. Speak to me, game. Speak to me.
Alright.
2. I heard about all that frat boy culture and all the sexual harassment.
Oh,
On Rock Bottom. It doesn't surprise me that many of the female characters in those games are showing a lot of skin.
nor me, but we'll say that not all the avatars in Walk ended up being overly sexualized. After all, about 35% of the player base is female. Upsetting that a portion of the pie would hurt the hip pockets of the higher ups at Wizard. You know, Wally? But that's beside the point. The whole place had turned to...
Okay, then that's the normal thing again. Yeah, that's the same thing.
Yeah. Maybe get the goo.
Okay, what's the last one?
Yeah, the other one would just be his input on the other stuff, but bone mud.
A witticism seems so inappropriate here. I can't even think of one. It's so awful.
And that's not the end of it. Not by a long shot.
What are the women?
Oh, so it's still the same thing on his side, just different on the main one. Because I guess he just keeps saying, "Tell me more," and then you can switch.
Yeah, you could give
like,
the other guy
responses.
more lines.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It would take a lot longer, but very good. Ugh. I think I said that.
Bye.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll just loop it.